We want to find the cosine inverse of cosine of 4 pi over 3. All right, so we have a function composed with its inverse, right? Or in this case, an inverse function composed with its normal regular function, I guess we can call it. Okay, and there's a certain property of functions, right? We know that f inverse composed with f of x should just equal that argument, right? Whatever x is. Similarly, f of f inverse of x, right, should just equal x, right? This is a property of composite functions. Okay? And so you're looking at this and saying, okay, I have a function that's inverse, so yeah, this answer should be just 4 pi over 3. But you got to be careful here, right? Because we're dealing with trig functions, and for inverse trig functions especially, we restrict the domain and the range. Okay, so what do we mean by that? Okay, so for cosine, right? Now this is just for cosine, not for all trig functions, okay? If cosine inverse of y is equal to x, I'm just going to use x and y here, right? X is the angle. Okay, y is the length or the coordinate, right? We know that y has to be between -1 and 1. That doesn't really matter in this case, right? But the key is the angle. We know that the angle has to be between 0 and pi. Right? You're looking at this guy and saying, wait a minute, this is 4 pi over 3, which is bigger than pi. Okay, so, okay, does that mean that this does not exist? But that's not the answer either. Okay, so for this one, if you look at this in terms of the composite function, right, there's actually an inner function and an outer function, right? So in this case, okay, when the inverse is outside and the regular function is inside, we actually just do this in steps. So then that's the question, right? What is the cosine of 4 pi over 3? Okay, well, I know what that is, right? The cosine of 4 pi over 3 is -1/2. So then the next question is, well, remember, this is equal to -1/2, right? So what is the cosine inverse of -1/2? Okay. And you're probably thinking, well, there's two places, right? Cosine is equal to -1/2 at 2 pi over 3 and 4 pi over 3. So does that mean I have two answers here? And actually we don't, right? You can only give one answer. This is the key. For cosine inverse, the angle must be either in quadrant 1 if the number is negative, or it must be in quadrant 2 if the y value or the length is negative. Okay? So, okay, I'm not going to give 4 pi over 3 as the answer, right? I know that in quadrant 2, cosine of 2 pi over 3 is equal to -1/2. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that for this question, the answer is not 4 pi over 3, right? The answer is 2 pi over 3.